Hey guys, Aaron again with EZV Bow Sights. Let's get sighted in. Make sure you watch the first video just above here on the website on how to select the proper insert. You can spend all day with the wrong insert, it's not going to work. And I showed you how to go through and measure where your old sight was. This just saves you about 20 arrows. It's not an EZV thing, it's owning a pro shop for 20 years and selling sights. I just simply measured from the top of the arrow to your existing sight before you take it off to the top 20-yard pin. Get that measurement, write it down. Then put the EZV on there, just break the bolts loose and move it around so that you're starting in almost the perfect position to begin with. With the right insert, you're almost sighted in already. We haven't even shot an arrow yet. So let's shoot an arrow. You're going to go up to 10 yards just to be sure that we've done it right. Make sure you're in the bail, then back your way up to 20. Once you get to 20, shoot an arrow. If you're hitting high, you move it high. If you're hitting low, you move it low. Just like any other sight, you're going to chase your arrow. So how do we do that? So on the side, with one big Allen wrench, no little tiny itsy bitsy screws, you're going to love this. Super easy, but move it just a touch at a time because it'll move it a lot. So if you're hitting high, we're breaking this bolt loose, and we're moving the sight high. Not that much. Just move it a little bit. I'm just doing it so you can see. Move it high. If you shoot an arrow and you're hitting low, you move it low. As you make those adjustments, keep an eye that your scope is still square with the bow. Just eyeball it. If you make a big movement here, which you shouldn't if you've done your other measurements in the previous video, keep squaring up that scope. Get your vertical on. 20-yard tick mark is in the same position on all inserts, so no matter what we do from there, you're not going to lose that setting. If it's hitting to the right, you move it to the right. If it's hitting to the left, you move it to the left, right? Just chasing the arrow, which is done right up here on this windage bolt, right up in the front. We're just breaking that loose. I hold it so you don't lose. If it's hitting left, you move it left. If it's hitting to the right, you move it to the right. And again, this is how you're controlling, keeping that scope square. Snug that down. Don't over tighten them, but you can tighten them pretty good. Okay? Get 20 on. And I really like you to just spend a day there. This is kind of new. Your brain's going to love it. Let it love it. Let it learn it before you go running out to 60 yards making YouTube videos. You can do that. A lot of guys have, but spend a day there. Get comfortable so that we know what we're doing next. Then just back up a little to 25 to make sure we haven't totally screwed it up yet, and it should be in there, and then shoot a 30. If the 30 is only a couple inches low or high, then try another tiny gang adjustment. But if it drops down here, let's say we're 4 inches low, then go slow. Hitting low, go slower insert. If it's hitting high, jump to the next fastest insert. So if I'm shooting a 250 and that 30 goes really low, drop down to the 240, and that's going to pull it right back up in there. Along the way, you're going to make tiny gang adjustments, wiggling in, but if it's a coarse adjustment, drop to the next insert, okay? And then, of course, the further back out you get, the more you're going to fine-tune your windage. You might be on at 30, and then at 40, you're an inch and a half to the right. You're going to have to give it just a tiny bit more to the right and bring that in. We're just framing, putting those tick marks at 9 and 3 o'clock where these little triangles are cut out of the target, and shoot an arrow and make sure it's a good feeling arrow. Once you go pro, which is really where we want you to go with this, once we've gone through these increments, 20, 30, 40 is wherever you're comfortable shooting, pop it out, flip it around, and now we're just V-ing the circle, right? Just framing the circle, and your brain might see it a little differently at that point. You may now start hitting high arrows or low arrows. Go ahead and adjust for it. This is a beautiful, instinctive, intuitive aiming system. If you trust your brain, you follow your brain, and you go with it. Just because Aaron says it's 13.5 inches, you might like it at 10 on a paper plate. Quite a few do. So follow your gut instinct. You've now matched the insert to your bow's trajectory, and now we're going to match it to your mind, and a different predator you will become. I'm Aaron with EZV Bow Sights. Good hunting, gang.